What's up, everybody? It's Keith at Vitality Sports Solutions. One of my clients is dealing with really tight hips, so I have a game plan for him, and I thought I would share it with you all in case you're suffering from the same problem. So give it a shot. Working on soft tissue is where we start when we're talking about low back pain caused by tight hips, right? We want to work on mobility first. So two areas of the hip that I like to focus on with a foam roller. The first is going to be my external rotator, so my glutes. And how we want to set up to do that is very simple. We're basically going to sit right on the foam roller. We'll do my right side first. I'm going to take my right ankle, bring it to my left knee, and I'm going to put a decent amount of my body weight on my right hand here, and the rest of it's going to be on my left foot, and I'm just rolling out my glutes here. Now maybe 10 to 15 passes, and then I'll start to add some rotation here. I'm going to take my knee and I'm going to pull it across my body, rotate that hip a little bit more, and then I'm going to continue to roll. So this is always a good place to start when we're lacking some external rotation. The other area I would target on the hip with foam rolling is going to be that anterior part, right? Those hip flexors that are right here, they connect on the hip bone, run down into your quad. So I'm going to lay just under my hip bone, and same thing, I'm going to go for about 10 passes. I'm not going all the way down, I'm just working on that hip flexor. And then if I want to start to put some tension into the system, I'll bend and extend that knee and just kind of work piece by piece. Now, after I've gotten about 10 or 15 passes on just the hip flexor, I'll then go ahead and do 10 full passes on my quad here, all the way. Same thing, if I want to add a little bit of tension, bend and extend. Once I finish up my foam rolling, I'm going to get into some static stretching. There's two stretches I'm going to do. I'm going to spend about 1.5 to 2 minutes per side, maybe a little bit longer if I feel like one side needs a little bit more work, but generally 90 seconds to 2 minutes. First one I'm going to do is the incline pigeon stretch. So put my foot right into the little crook of the bench here, rest my knee on the top part, and then I'm just going to slowly drop my back foot farther back, trying to keep my chest up, and I'm going to sink down into this stretch. This is going to target, again, those external rotators on my hip, 90 seconds to 2 minutes per side. Now, from this position, I can bring my chest forward, I can move around and try to find some different areas where I might be tight, but for the most part, keep your chest up, drop the back knee. That gets you deeper into hip flexion, and that'll stretch those rotators a little bit more. I use the incline bench because it's a little bit easier to get in and out of versus getting up and down off the floor, and it's also a little bit more knee friendly. And last but not least, I'm going to do the couch stretch. Now all you're going to do is put your bottom knee as close to the wall as you can get it, flex that knee so your foot is going to be against the wall, and then good vertical front shin, squeeze your butt, drive your hips back, and try to get as close to the wall as you can. Now, if you're super, super tight and that's just not happening, you can scale it back, keep that front leg on the floor. Again, this knee is into the wall as far as I can be, but from here, I'm gonna push my hips down toward the floor. So still getting in hip extension here. I'm getting good stretching, and then once I feel ready to posture up, I can continue to push my hips toward the floor, and then once everything loosens up a little bit more, you should be able to get back to the wall. Now take as much time on those two regressions as you need to, but ultimately we want to get about 90 seconds to 2 minutes per side here. This is going to really open up that anterior part of your hip. If that's tight, that's going to cause you to anterior tilt your pelvis, which is going to force you to use those low back muscles a lot more than the glutes. So we targeted soft tissue with the foam rolling, working on mobility. Then we did two static stretches, one focused on glutes and external rotation, one focused on the anterior part of your hip. Now, those aren't the only 3 things you can do to alleviate back pain caused by tight hips, but those 3 are a pretty good place to start. You'll find that one or both, but generally it's going to be one or the other of those stretches is going to be the main stretch that helps. This one is usually the one that people really feel limited in. So don't be alarmed if you can't get your shoulders back to the wall, but the foam rolling, the incline pigeon, and then the couch stretch is where I am going to start with my client. It's where you should start if you're suffering from low back pain that we think is caused by tight hips.